I want you to imagine something for a second. Picture that hyper-aware, totally dilated split second just before a car crash.
Oh, wow. Starting intense.
Right, but just put yourself there. The brakes are completely locked, the tires are screaming against the asphalt, and your mind is suddenly moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, everything slows down.
Exactly. Or, if you prefer a less terrifying scenario, imagine the charged, perfectly silent gap just before a first kiss.
A bit of a pivot, but I like it.
Yeah, well, you're inches away, the air between you is practically humming with static,
Yeah.
and the rest of the world, the background noise, the room you're in it has completely vanished.
It just drops away.
It really does. So what do these two entirely different experiences have in common? Well, welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission today is unpacking a truly fascinating manuscript by authors Max and Claude, and it's titled The Phenomenology of the Moment Before.
It's such a brilliant text.
It really is. And, phenomenology sounds like a dense academic word, but it really just means this study of how things actually feel to experience them from the inside.
From a first-person perspective, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this manuscript is this visceral psychological exploration of what it actually means to exist in the threshold between before and after.
It's wonderful to be diving into this, and I think it's crucial to understand right from the jump that we are not just taking a broad look at anticipation.
Right. Anticipation is too broad.
Way too broad. It's an emotion concerned with futures that might or might not happen, right? You anticipate a vacation or a phone call.
Yeah.
What we are exploring today is an incredibly specific state. It's that exact razor-thin look at when intention crystallizes into absolute certainty.
When the future collapses.
Yes, from possibility into total inevitability. It's hovering on the edge just before the threshold demands to be crossed.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because to really grasp what that threshold feels like, we need to look at those two highly relatable case studies from the text. Let's start with the crash scenario.
The silver sedan.
Right. So a driver is approaching an intersection. He suddenly sees a silver sedan running a red light. The physics are completely inexorable. He has maybe 2 seconds before impact.
2 seconds of clock time.
Yes. But in those 2 seconds, time doesn't just slow down. The mind accelerates so much that the driver starts noticing insane, trivial details.
The rivets.
The individual rivets in the car door. He sees the blonde hair of the other driver as she turns her head. And strangely, there's this sudden, unexpected aesthetic calm.
A profound dilation of time.
It's unbelievable. And then you contrast that with the kiss scenario, the 18-inch gap closing.
The conversation naturally dying out.
Exactly. And suddenly there's a hyper-awareness of the exact shade of brown in the other person's eyes, the pores on their skin.
What beautifully connects those two vividly detailed scenes is a phenomenon the authors describe as double temporality.
Double temporality.
Yeah. In that shrinking gap before the kiss, you are effectively existing in 2 times simultaneously. You are entirely in the present, but your consciousness has already jumped forward.
It's already tasting the kiss before the lips even touch.
Precisely. You are unmoored from normal time because you're occupying the present that is ending and the future that is beginning all at once.
Which introduces Henri Bergson's concept from the text.
Yes, durée.
Right. We assume that clock time, measurable objective seconds ticking away is reality. But the moment before proves that durée, or lived experience duration, is the primary reality of time.
The 2 seconds before the crash contain vastly more experiential data than 2 ordinary hours of driving.
Which is mind-bending. Time isn't just a container we live in. Our states of consciousness actually constitute the time we inhabit.
We literally make the time. And the authors map this out by looking at the ontological structure of the moment before.
The actual architecture of existence.
Right. Think of ordinary time as a flat linear surface, a flat ribbon.
One thing happens, then the next.
Exactly. But the moment before is a fold in that flat surface. It's where the past and future touch, making the present incredibly dense with experience.
Because 2 times are present simultaneously.
Yes, and what's fascinating here is a profound paradox that emerges from this fold. The text calls it prospective nostalgia, or mourning the not yet.
Mourning the not yet. I have to say, this is so incredibly relatable once you think about it. Even as you lean in for the kiss, a part of your brain is already mourning the end of the anticipation.
You're nostalgic for the suspension while you are still inside it.
But why? If I want this kiss to happen, why mourn the buildup?
Because of the difference between infinite potential and singular actualization. In the uncrossed threshold, The moment holds infinite potential.
It could be any,
It
yes.
contains all possible versions of the kiss. Could be perfect. It could be the start of a 50-year marriage.
Right.
But the actual event collapses that beautiful infinity into one single actuality.
Which might be awkward.
Noses might bump. It might be entirely disappointing. We crave edges and thresholds because that edge is where we are most intensely alive, brimming with full, unresolved potential.
Okay, that makes so much sense. We're mourning the loss of possibility.
Hmm.
And it's interesting because the text shifts from how our minds process this to how our bodies handle it.
The somatic intelligence.
Right, because we usually think of René Descartes' model, right? The brain is the driver and the body is just the vehicle.
A dumb machine carrying the brain around.
Exactly. But the text references the philosopher Maurice Merleau-Ponty to counter this.
Yes, Merleau-Ponty argues the body isn't just an instrument. It is a primary cognitive system in its own right. It knows things first.
And the case studies for this somatic intelligence are haunting, like the moment before diagnosis.
The patient waiting for test results.
Right. You're sitting there, the doctor walks in, but before the doctor even speaks the words, your body has already registered the specific weight of the room.
The careful way the doctor holds the papers.
Exactly. The body presents this eerie stillness that completely predates the mind's official confirmation. The body already knows.
We see this exact same intelligence in grief's opening.
Oh, that section was heavy.
It is. Imagine the moment before grief breaks. Someone is handling the logistics of a sudden death.
Making the phone calls.
Right, functioning seamlessly. The body is deliberately holding the crushing weight of the grief back because function is required for survival right then.
Building a dam.
Yes, but then the house empties out. The person is finally alone, maybe just sitting in the hallway, and the body decides it is safe to release the hold.
It just lets go.
It completely bypasses the conscious mind. A guttural sound comes before the tears. The body's internal logic knows the container is finally safe enough to break.
It's incredible. The body has its own wisdom operating under the radar, and it applies to problem solving too.
The hypnagogic state.
Yes, the moment before sleep, or even when you're just doing the dishes, your conscious mind relaxes its tight grip.
And suddenly your body feels a gathering pressure.
A physical precursor to an idea. An insight clicks into place, and your body is literally reaching for a pen before your brain even fully has the vocabulary to explain it.
The heavy cognitive lifting was being done by bodily processes you couldn't consciously access.
Which raises an amazing question about control. If our bodies are acting first, how much control do we actually have?
This leads us into the text's incredibly nuanced synthesis of agency and inevitability.
We usually think of free will and inevitability as opposites.
Right. If it's inevitable, you have zero agency. If you have total agency, it's not inevitable.
But the text argues they are orthogonal,
Independent dimensions.
like the dials on an old television set.
Exactly. You have a dial for the channel and a dial for the volume.
Yeah.
Changing the volume doesn't change the channel.
You can have high agency and high inevitability simultaneously.
Yes.
Here's where it gets really interesting. To prove this, they look at the irrevocable act, the harrowing case of the person on a bridge.
Contemplating ending their life.
Right. They're standing there looking at the water. Total agency. They can jump or they can walk away. But internally, they feel an unbearable, crushing inevitability.
The gravity pulling them down.
Yes. But the text highlights the refuge of the threshold.
Simply standing in the moment before becomes a safe harbor.
By delaying the jump, by enduring the suspension, they realize they can actually survive the threshold.
And that realization provides the tiny shift needed to just walk away. They find high agency within heavily constrained, inevitable conditions.
And what about the argument scenario? The word.
Two partners fighting.
One partner knows the other is about to say a cutting, relationship-altering remark.
They can see it forming.
They have the agency to stop it. They could just say stop, but they don't.
Because a darker part of them wants the explosion.
They wanted to destroy the comfortable lies.
They let the inevitability take over despite having agency. And then there's the bystander deciding to act.
Watching an injustice, the physical adrenaline, the mental assessment.
High agency, low inevitability, nothing has forced their hand.
Or even in a crash.
Right. Zero agency over the physics.
But you still have agency over how you meet the moment. You can choose acceptance over rage.
You choose how you inhabit the determination.
It's powerful. And honestly, it brings it so close to home. What about the unmarked thresholds?
The chronic before.
Well, first, the last times. The moment before you tuck your child in for the last time. Or speak to a parent for the last
You
time.
don't know it's the last time.
You don't know. Yet the text points out that sometimes your body gives you a strange tenderness of attention.
The somatic intelligence hitting the record button.
Yes. It records the smell of the room, the quality of the light, even when your mind thinks it's just a normal Tuesday.
And then there are the uncrossed thresholds, the chronic threshold,
The moments before that never end in a crossing.
the conversation you keep almost having, the toxic job you keep almost leaving. You approach the edge and you retreat.
And over time, that uncrossed threshold ferments.
It becomes a very specific kind of regret, the ghost of what might have been.
A tragedy of similarity.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the ultimate ethical takeaway from the text emerges.
Ethics as presence.
Exactly. Ethics isn't just a set of rules. It's a quality of presence. Can we cultivate the courage to stop sleepwalking and actually be awake at the thresholds of our own lives?
So to summarize this incredible journey, we've learned that time is dense, it folds. We've learned that your body is a brilliant antenna that knows things first.
The somatic intelligence.
And that the fold of the moment before is where you are most intensely alive, buzzing with infinite potential. So to you listening, the next time you feel time dilate and your breath catch, recognize it. Do not look away. You are standing in the fold.
And I'll leave you with a final thought directly from the text coda. You are in a moment before right now.
Right now.
You are in the moment before this deep dive ends. The fold of this focused attention is about to unfold back into your ordinary flat reality. The chairs will be the same, the windows will be the same. But having been here, you now have the vocabulary to recognize the threshold. The question is, when the next ordinary moment arrives, will you be fully awake for it, or will you pass through it without noticing?